What's up, guys? Diego Sultan here with Listener's Notes. Today we're going to be talking about the new album from the Migos entitled Culture. The Migos are an Atlanta trap group, very influential in that genre, really set the groundwork for a lot of the trap sounds you hear today, both in terms of flow and just production styles and just everything you hear in trap now. They had a fingerprint in, and in that way you cannot deny that they have impacted the hip-hop culture, the trap culture, and just, that culture in general. But with that being said, going into that album, I'm just looking to see them push their sound further. I didn't want to hear by the book Migos because I'm not the kind of person who can just put Migos on and listen to them. They're okay, I don't mind them, they're fine, but I'm not someone who gets pure enjoyment out of just a Migos album. So I wanted to see them expand their sound, maybe use some more interesting beats, some more eccentric deliveries or flows, maybe even venture into lyrics that are good, but I didn't expect lyrics. This is trap. Before I even start describing the music that I heard, I'd like to make it clear that I'm probably not going to describe every beat entirely because you know the general idea. This is going to be a lot of trap beats, a lot of, those rattling hi-hats, that sub bass, just punchy snares too, and then of course there's a lot of auto-tune vocals to go along with it. That's just, comes with the territory of this kind of album. The song Culture, which is just I think DJ Khaled makes the beat. I mean, I hope he does. I didn't look at the credits, but it has this DJ Khaled, hype up session instead of a hook, which is kind of annoying. I wish they did an actual hook. Some of their hooks are very catchy, very memorable. Not that Khaled wasn't memorable, but yeah. So once you get that, you'll understand what this is about. They're playing off of culture, because right now, if you go on Twitter and look up a rapper's name, a popular rapper, you will see tweets that say, make a new album for the culture. You'll see multiple of that. So the Migos, knowing that they impacted the hip-hop culture so much, they are playing off of that, and I think it's something that's good, that has drawn a lot of attention, whether people realize it or not. Let's talk about the second song, T-Shirt. This one is actually a somewhat pretty song. It has these very melodic drones, as well as some synth patterns that I really enjoy. And it has these like really small bursts of bass, which is kind of strange for a trap song. I expected, those big blasts, but they were actually a little conservative in that respect. And I thought it was different, and that's what I liked about it. I was like, oh, okay, they played around with that a little bit. But here's where my biggest problem with most of the Migos music comes in. It gets stale within 2 minutes. It really does. And that's because they either need to add a beat switch up, or they need to do something more interesting vocally, which they do not. It's just standard Migos flows, which aren't that interesting, standard Migos lyrics, which aren't that interesting, and the deliveries are just okay. And it's fine for a few minutes, but once you get towards that 2-minute mark, and that's kind of my major problem with this album as a whole, actually, but it really shows up on this song. I'm actually a pretty big fan of the beat on the song Call Casting. I like the piano on it. It's somewhat intricate, and I actually enjoy that aspect of it. It's not just a very simple arpeggio, and it's very pretty, and that, of course, gives me something else to pay attention to as the song goes on, which is, in a way, fixes the problem that I had with T-Shirt. And then the synth progression underneath was also pretty nice. I didn't mind that at all. I thought it added another layer to the song, which was a great thing. Now, I'm just going to get this out of the way now, because I don't want to talk about this every song. The lyrics on this album, they are trap lyrics. If you're looking for a lyrical album, you don't want to listen to this. You're not going to get what you want. And if you think this is a lyrical album, trust me, it's not lyrical. It's not. This is the farthest thing from lyrical, and that's okay. I expected that going in. There are trap albums that I like that are not lyrical. I just wanted to say that now because I don't want to have to go through every song and try to analyze it like it's, poetry or fine art, when it's really, really not. And the fact that I see people praising the lyricism on this album on Twitter just shows how far lyrics have fallen in hip-hop. It's kind of sad, actually. I really might as well talk about the single now, Bad Boujee. I'm sure you've heard of it. I'm sure you've seen the raindrop, drop top memes that have come out of it. I think it's a pretty good song. I enjoy it. It's a good single. It created plenty of hype, especially with its meme status. And as a song itself, I think it's pretty good. I like the hook on it. I think it's catchy, and the beat also, once again, is a nice trap beat. My biggest problem with it is I don't like Lil Uzi Vert's verse on it. Lil Uzi Vert just he's really a master at ruining a song, and you know he found a way here. He really found a way to make this song something I don't want to listen to. My problem with Lil Uzi is not only that his lyrics are obviously subpar. Once again, his trap, whatever. He's just his vocal is so annoying. I can't put words to it, but he is just so annoying. And not only that, but he's such a clear copy of so many contemporaries, and it's hard to listen to him, it really is. I also wanted to talk about the song Slippery featuring Gucci Mane, which was actually a pretty decent song. I enjoyed this one. The verses are fine, but I think what really stands out is the personality that the production had on this song between the synth arpeggios as well as just the overall vibe and sound. The hook is also pretty catchy. And I think having a Gucci verse does break up the monotony of these trap flows. Like, honestly, it was a needed thing. So my problem with this Migos album comes in just the lack of uniqueness to it in comparison to the rest of the Migos discography. As much as these guys have changed the trap game, they've impacted the trap game, you cannot deny their impact on the culture. I feel like with this album, they just rehash more of the same old, and I was hoping for more personally. And if you look down at the specific parts, the beats, some of them are pretty good, but some of them really just don't go that hard. They're okay. They're decent trap beats. Vocally, these guys really are lackluster. The flows are fine. The lyrics are fine for trap, but there's nothing here that makes me want to listen to this after this review is what I'm saying. And I really don't see the actual appeal of it when you compare it to what's already come out. If they went for some eccentric beats, like what happened with Travis Scott's album Rodeo, maybe they would have had a better album. If they went for better lyrics, like what Freddie Gibbs did on Shadow of a Doubt, they would have had a much better album. If they put in some eccentric deliveries or flows like Young Thug did with Jeffrey, this would be a better album, but instead it comes off very plain. Now, their style obviously is fine. It sounds fine. It's not a bad album by any means. It's okay. But it's nothing that's making me want to listen to it again after this review is filmed and put up and all that. And I just wonder how long they can continue to do this. And that's really my biggest problem with this album. A lot of these songs are only entertaining for like 2 minutes because eventually it gets really stale really quick because these beats do not compensate for the lack of vocal ability throughout the entire album. What's happening here is Quavo, Offset, and Takeoff, they are not entertaining enough for a 4 or 5 minute song at all. After the first 2 minutes, these songs get boring. They need either a beat switch up to give it some new life and something else interesting to chew on and listen to, or the Migos need to actually be entertaining on top of these beats and not rely on them. But neither of these things are happening. These beats are good, and they can only compensate for the lack of vocal ability for so long until these songs just become snooze fests. And once you get to like the end of the album, like I said, the final third, it just becomes absolutely boring because I've heard all of this before over and over and over again, and it's just tired. And that's really my biggest problem with this album as a whole. So, that's my opinion on this Migos album. I'm going to give it a 53 out of 100. So, thank you guys for watching. There'll be some links besides my head to subscribe to the channel, to check out some older videos. Make sure you do that. And if you like this video, subscribe, like. There's plenty more coming. Thank you guys for watching. Diego Sultan here with Listener's Notes. I can't wait to review some more music for you guys again real soon.